Good morning. Thank you for joining us today. I want to acknowledge that we are gathered on the traditional territory of the signatories of Treaty 7, and I acknowledge the Métis people who share a deep connection with this land. My name is Joe Ceci, and I am an Alberta NDP candidate for Calgary, Buffalo. I'm joined here today by Lizette Tejada, our Alberta NDP candidate in Calgary-Klein, Amanda Chapman, our Alberta NDP candidate in Calgary-Beddington, Gurinder Brar, our Alberta NDP candidate in Calgary Northeast, Court Ellingson, our Alberta NDP candidate in Calgary Foothills, and Rajesh Angral, our Alberta NDP candidate in Calgary North. Thank you all for joining me. Yesterday, Rachel Notley announced our plan for building a better future in Calgary. It's focused on what matters to Calgarians and their families. We laid out our plans to invest in a better economic future, in better education for our kids, and better health care for all Calgarians. The Alberta NDP is excited by how these investments can spur good jobs, make life more affordable, and connect with our communities. Calgary is filled with an incredible energy that reflects the resilience of its people. Despite having no direct support from the UCP for almost 4 years, that energy continues to burn bright. It's time for a change. It's time to pass the torch. The Alberta NDP is ready to deliver a better future that Calgary deserves. To speak a little bit more about why these investments matter so much for Calgarians, I'll pass things over to Amanda. Amanda?
Thank you, Joe. And thank you all for being here today. I'm so excited about the $1.2 billion that we'll be investing right here in Calgary. There's a world of untapped potential just waiting to be realized, and this will help kickstart our economy and bring life back to our downtown. More specifically, I'm thrilled about our commitment to support the north leg of the Green Line LRT. Communities in North Calgary have been waiting for this for a long time. Too long, if you ask me. Investing in public transit is critical to maintaining Calgary's reputation as a world-class city. In addition, it has proven social and economic benefits. It reduces commute times, reduces emissions, creates jobs, attracts private investment, and increases economic productivity, all of which make Calgary a more attractive place to live. Now, when Rachel Notley was Premier, she understood what these benefits meant to Calgarians, and that is why the Alberta government initially invested $1.5 billion in the southern leg of the Green Line. So it was unfortunate when the UCP government delayed the whole project, throwing its future into question. The City of Calgary was ready to move forward with the project in 2020. All they needed was a provincial government that had their back, but the UCP was nowhere to be found. Instead of showing up for Calgarians and trusting the hard work of experts, the UCP pumped the brakes and wasted time. It created uncertainty for all stakeholders. And worst of all, it increased costs with nothing to show for it. Now Calgarians are left waiting even longer to access the benefits that the Green Line LRT will bring. And Danielle Smith, well, she's made it very clear she does not support the project. She has previously called it the Green Line to nowhere, a fantasy, a catastrophically bad decision, and of no real use to anyone. So my family, friends, and neighbors living in North Calgary would absolutely disagree with her. Calgarians would disagree with her. The Green Line will create tens of thousands of jobs and bring billions of dollars in economic growth once it's complete. It will make life easier by offering affordable transportation, and it will connect our communities to each other much more easily. I'm grateful for a leader that is focused on what matters to Calgarians. Soon, we'll have an NDP government that can get to work on priorities that matter to us too. I'll now pass it over to Gurinder to share more about investing in the health and well-being of families living in North Calgary.
Thank you, Amanda. And I share your excitement for what a better future looks like in North Calgary. One of the key investments we announced yesterday involves funding to plan a new regional hospital that serves North Calgary and nearby communities. After years of watching the UCP do nothing, Calgarians are desperate for better healthcare. Daniel Smith wants to sell off our hospitals, but Rachel Notley wants to build them. The UCP want you to pay to see a family doctor, but Alberta NDP promises you that you will never have to pay out of pocket to go see a family doctor. And ever. We will keep public health care public and free for everyone. Building a regional hospital in North Calgary means reducing wait times at the PLC. It means that you will actually get to see a doctor when you need to instead of being turned away. It also means families in Airdrie, Olds, Didsbury, and Three Hills can access better care too. It will be easier to get there. It will always be free to access it. It will mean better healthcare for so more families in North Calgary and the communities I just mentioned. The Alberta NDP is committed to build a better future for Calgary and for Alberta. Thank you. We will now take your questions.
We've seen a very Calgary-centric campaign by both UCP and especially NDP. I guess for our readers who are mostly rural and agricultural sector orientated, one of the biggest problems they have right now is the issue with inactive wells and many of them point their fingers. They support the oil and gas industry, but many of them are pointing their fingers at AER as being one of the main problems in dealing with this issue. If the NDP government is elected, are you committing to reform the AER, and how will you do that?
You know, I can't or unable to answer directly your question, but I can tell you that things we won't do are spend billions of dollars giving it to profitable companies so that they can take care of their obligations that they should be taking care of under their own dime. We do need to work closely with AER, and we, as a party, as a future government, know that this is an issue across Alberta, particularly for people in rural Alberta who have inactive wells or wells that have been taking too much land up for too long. So one thing we won't do is go down the wrong road that the UCP is talking about. We'll work with stakeholders, including rural folks, to make sure we address this problem directly.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, is there any part of the NDP platform that covers AER reform? I mean, we're...
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep.
Hi, it's Brody Thomas with Post Media. Thanks for taking my question. I'm just wondering, there were lots of Calgary-specific promises made last night, but no mention of Calgary's pending deal on the new events center. I'm wondering if anyone there can clarify where the NDP stands on that pending deal, and if the city can continue to count on provincial commitment if your party gets elected?
You know, Brody, our leader, has addressed this many times, and I remember the words she said, and perhaps you do too, with regard to, and it's an exciting opportunity that is laid out here, and we want to examine it in full detail before making any further comments or commitments. The information with regard to the event center and the announcements that were made a couple weeks ago were really high level. And I wish, like Calgarians and Albertans generally, we had the details, and we don't have those at this point in time. So short of getting that information, I'll say, and it's an exciting opportunity, and certainly one I look forward to digging into in the future once more information is provided.
Yeah, and I was just looking at the numbers on the breakdown of the 1.2 billion. So 480 million for new schools over 3 years. Calgary's newest high school cost 70 million. Also, the commitment of 150 million for the north leg of the Green Line. That's really probably just a fraction of what the north leg is going to cost.
Sure.
I'm wondering if you can clarify either of those two spending promises,
Yeah.
like how that.
On this, sorry, on the second one for sure, I can tell you that the 150 million is to get things ready. It's not all the money that's required, of course, for that north leg, and I want Calgarians to know that we'll be there for that when it's ready. But to get things ready, there needs to be purchases in advance with regards to land and planning and other kinds of things. And we're there for that. We're making that commitment, showing that support for the Green Line because of its importance to not only Calgary, but for getting more folks onto mass transit, off the roads, emissions reduction, all those things, and getting people to work, frankly, and then to also look at the transit-oriented design opportunities and parcels around a future north leg of the Green Line and what that might mean in terms of build-out and keeping our city robust and going forward.
Hey guys, Tim Brooks, CTV. You got me.
Thanks. I hear you.
Hey, perfect. Okay, I never know with you. My question, we're talking about a better future today. Whoever wants to field this one, go ahead. I'm just wondering, how would an NDP government make sure that every Albertan has a family doctor they can see? How do we expand primary care access and make sure that the health system isn't kind of faltering under the shortage we have right now?
Yeah, good question. We released, I don't know if it was 10 days ago or so, our family health teams plan that will make a million more Albertans have access to a family doctor and family health teams around those doctors. So there is a significant commitment to public health care, primary health care, that the Alberta NDP is making. We will have it costed. We have it costed in our budget, in our platform, and it's the kind of thing going forward that Albertans have been saying on the doorstep. I'm sure my colleagues here, don't have to wait to bring it up. Many people we're talking to talk about the need for primary family care, and I see the AMA came out with a release yesterday saying 650,000 Albertans are without a family doctor. This is intolerable under the UCP. They've created this huge backlog by chasing away family doctors, by defunding the health system over the previous 3 years, and making sure that emergency rooms are chock full with people waiting too long and in too much pain.